Gambling is the topic of the day in Montgomery as the State Gaming Advisory Council meets for the second time. Josh Ninke is live in the Montgomery newsroom with details. Thank you. We have breaking news out of Selma this noon hour. A mother and daughter are dead after an early morning house fire. Well, excitement is brewing for this year's Iron Bowl matchup between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers. The Trump transition team says they're making progress following some major changes. In the latest moves, Vice President-elect Mike Pence ordered the removal of all registered lobbyists. There are a dozen constitutional amendments on the November ballot, including one that would prevent the state from taking money from the state park budget and using it for other agencies. A federal court is blocking a regulation that would make about 4 million more higher-earning workers eligible for overtime pay. Good morning, Tim. That's right. I'm out here at the Montgomery Zoo. I got to tell you, it was creepy just walking in this morning. We didn't even have any lights. Feeling like a nice crisp fall day outside.
Absolutely.
Still feeling like summer outside.
Yeah.
Didn't even need a jacket on the way out to the car this morning.
We got a big issue this morning, fog.
You know, it's that time of year where it's chilly in the morning, you got the heat on the way to work, and then you got the air conditioning on the way home.
Yeah, and today it's going to be more so the air conditioning than anything else.
See how bad he wants a home?
They are really
he's
good
just
dogs.
Crying.
3-ingredient pecan roll.
Oh,
right?
wow. Three
So,
ingredients.
Three
That sounds
ingredients.
too good to be true.
No bake. It seems like it, but I promise it's not.
Okay. Of course, Thanksgiving, a couple of days away, and there are a lot of foods during Thanksgiving that are not good for your pets. Have we seen kind of an uptick in pancreatic cancer in the last few years?
We actually have.
So it's not something you can use right now. It's not on the market
Right,
right now.
but
do you
look for
think
it.
in the next few years we may see this on the
Yes,
market?
and it's a great alternative because years the burden of birth control has been on women.
Good morning. That is medical marijuana, and obviously not legal here in the state of Alabama, but is in several states. In fact, it's recreationally, allowed in states like Colorado and Washington. So, talking about some of the uses for medical marijuana, just for people who may be a little more curious about it, we were talking about Carly's Law earlier. And what is that? I would assume that part of the problem would be that you have older siblings who have those toys, and then the younger kids are getting a hold of it.
And that can be the number one problem. They'll leave their toys out, and the smaller children will come get it. So education, supervision of the play is very important.
It's Friday morning, and that means it is Fitness Friday here on Alabama News Network. And Casey Scott from In Shape Fitness, she's here for our full body workout. We're going to go through 3 different rounds of 3 different full body workouts. She's got another one of her clients here today, so we're going to go through that, and she's going to instruct you the whole way.
Throw whatever weight you want on there. Olivia's using the bar, but the bar is 45 pounds, and that's a great amount of weight to start with. And you basically just perform a deadlift and stand up, and then you'll come back down and rest it, and then you'll come back up.
Olivia's up next. All right, she's going to do jump squats. This is a 5-pound medicine ball. See how she's getting low in the squat? Yes, and pushing and keeping her chest up. Squat form is very important.
Yep, she really does everything. And she's, I'm looking around in this gym right here. I see bikes that you can ride on, and ellipticals, and all kinds of stuff, and just like the straps that we use today. So lots of good stuff here. Come check them out. Thank you so much for being here. 5:11 this morning, 200 miles per hour, way too fast for a car traveling on the highway, and it's illegal. But it's happening on our local streets while you're on the road. I went undercover to find out exactly how it's all happening. Here's my News Extra Montgomery street racing. No helmets, no roll cages, and no walls. But the same speeds as on a track. What was our top speed there? 135. A different type of street racing that's not on the back roads. I saw it firsthand riding along with a driver associated with an underground racing society in Montgomery. I'm shaking a little. It's called roll racing, and it's gaining popularity in the U.S. after an online competitive racing group called 1320 started releasing videos like this. The race usually involves high-end cars like Porsches and Ferraris. The drivers start from a rolling speed, usually about 35 miles per hour, and then they floor it, beginning the race. Two cars racing here on I-85. it works. A minimum of 4 cars enter the interstate at the same time. The 2 cars that are racing go ahead while the 2 behind slow down to a speed of 35 miles per hour, blocking traffic for the 2 racing, leaving several thousand feet of race space. 3 honks, the race starts. After 3 honks, the drivers reach the highest speed possible until slamming on their brakes to avoid hitting traffic. What was that fire? The race is over in a matter of seconds. The first one to reach traffic is the winner.
This is crazy. This is stupid.
Montgomery County Sheriff Derek Cunningham knows a little bit about street racing as a car enthusiast himself. However, this, he says, he didn't know about. Is this the first time you've heard of something like this?
Oh yeah, road racing on the interstate. First time I've seen it. First time I heard about it.
Neither the Montgomery City Police nor the Sheriff's Department had a clue this was going on. State troopers say they'd heard about something similar, but the trooper shortage keeps them from doing much about it.
Stuff like this, when people calling you, telling you about it, and not telling the troopers and nobody, because this is all up down the interstate, where they're at, and have anybody called DPS and said anything, and that's something that we in law enforcement need to have this information.
Racing on the street can carry a sentence of up to 6 months in prison and losing your license, but racing here at Montgomery Raceway Park is a safer alternative.
There'll be cars out here doing 150, 160, 170 miles an hour in a short distance, and I'd rather not that happen on the street. It's kind of dangerous.
Greg Miles is the race director for Monster Roll Invitational. It's a race specifically designed for cars that roll race.
Same exact thing happens here as does on the street, except it's safer, more fun. We're wearing helmets, things like that.
However, legal races like this one are hard to come by because the track isn't specifically designed for this type of racing.
It's not designed for roll racing. His equipment's not designed for roll racing. It puts their staff out. It's not a normal thing.
In order to roll race at the raceway, drivers have to rent out the entire track, usually running them around $100 each to race. Consequently, many drivers end up racing on the road to avoid the cost. This car tops out at almost 200 miles an hour at 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, and it most definitely puts you in the back of your seat.
There's a rush of adrenaline, much like anybody else who likes to say bungee jump or jump out of a moving airplane or something like that.
Grayson McGowan has 2 modified Porsches with 1,200 horsepower between the 2. He uses races like this to feed his hobby.
I mean, if you're street racing on the street, obviously the conditions are uncontrolled. You never know if someone's going to pull out in front of you and you're at extremely illegal speeds, or if someone's going to slam on brakes.
Slam on the brakes, take a corner too fast, and cause an accident. Last December, 3 people died, including a child in Greene County during a drag race in which the car left the road and hit bystanders. That driver now charged with murder. Sheriff Cunningham wants these drivers to know they're not exempt from the law.
I don't care if they driving some of the most expensive cars out there. The message that I'm sending to them is, if we hear about it, we're going to get you. I don't care who you are or who's bagging you or what kind of car you're driving. If you're out here and you're putting people's lives at jeopardy to prove a point to your friends, we're coming after you and we're going to get you.
And law enforcement is asking you to be their eyes and ears on the road, because races like this aren't going to stop.
There will always be street races. Always.
Now, these races don't always happen on Interstate 85, though it is an ideal place since racers need a long strip of straight road. Another legal roll race will take place at Montgomery Raceway Park in May. Law enforcement officers say they will increase patrols, however, on the interstate since becoming aware of this issue.